Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me. Gotta see my boobies. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of this little book right here. We've got Tonight, the Life, and these ones right here as well, where you can get all that down in the description. And I know I'm getting ready in the next week to be able to upload the new cover, you guys. So thank you so much for the patience till I get that new cover uploaded. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, and the patience you've had with me, especially lately, because I know I've been just kind of trying to do my best to get my life, to keep this channel and do my best videos. So sometimes I don't necessarily, because I do have the full-time job, I have a life to run, so this is the one thing I get to do that's all for me. And sometimes I'm so stressed, I'm so discombobulated that the episodes I do, I'm not really happy with, and I won't put them out. So thank you, everybody, for your patience for me lately. For those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. I promise. I'm going to be better. I'm going to keep up on my filming. But we know life gets busy, and with my father passing away, and just everything kind of snowballed for a few months, but I'm back. So, all right, speaking of I'm back, you guys, my attitude's coming with me, because today's subject, we're going to talk about a few conversations to people who say they do research, but don't do research, who put things out there as glorified and truthful. Because I had a couple conversations with some people recently that concerned book review having to do with me, not a book that I wrote but what I'm in. That I'm talked about it. But anyway, and then another YouTuber who says he does research, but didn't really do research, because you know how much I fucking hate that. So, all right, we are going to finish off this little proper brewing right here, our locals. Nice little, kind of not too sour, not too pineapple-y, has that nice IPA kick to it, super delicious. Whispers. Because if you're going to whisper about me, lies, then I'm going to fucking yell right back at you. So everybody, grab your whispers, kick up your feet. Let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. There I go, knocking down my dang microphone again. Me and microphones. Okay, so we are going to start off. So there's this other YouTuber, God, I can't even remember the name of his channel. He writes a lot about celebrity deaths, does quick little snippets and stuff like this. I'll put the link down in the description. And I just happened, it was after, the recent birthday of John Entwistle, so I get inundated with a lot of stuff during every June 27th, every October 9th, every time the Who goes out on tour, every time a fucking book that is not researched and filled with lies comes out on the scene. We'll talk about that book and filled with lies. So I happened upon a video on YouTube that was talking about the death of John Entwistle, so of course I'm going to look at it. And of course it said the prostitute word. This guy said, in all my research, I could not find one thing on John except for the cheeky little monkey died with a prostitute while doing cocaine in Vegas. Well, number one, had you done the research? Woman with John Entwistle when he died, right in Google, blam. Here I am. And I've told you I'm not a prostitute. I've said it. I'm on John's, and even on John's Wikipedia, it says stripper groupie. Not prostitute. So number one, that shows me you didn't do any research. And he said he couldn't find any dirt on John. Dude, obviously you didn't do any research, because that man had more fucking drama with women in his life. His first wife, who he left for his second wife, and he was with his second wife for a couple years before he left first wife. He left second wife, who cheated on him. And I'm not blaming anybody, semantics of relationships, dominoes, feelings, I think I don't blame Maxine for that. I'm not going to give her shit for that. She cheated on him because he was cheating on her. And then the side girls, all are angry. Oh, honey, had you done 2 seconds of research, you would have seen all the controversy over John. You would have seen the controversy of the psycho bitch Lisa, his last girlfriend. Yep, that you would have. So, and that kind of irks me, because if you're going to run a channel that you've got 100,000 followers on, don't say in my research when you haven't done motherfucking research. Because I left him a little comment saying, oh no, you didn't. And literally started out with that, no, you didn't. I'm like, I can assure you that the woman with John, because I am her, and you did absolutely no research, and I am not a prostitute. So then I reported the video to YouTube and his channel, because obviously there's a lot of misinformation in just one video. So how much misinformation is going to be in the rest of them? And like I said, this irks me just simply because if you are going to, and I jokingly, I don't do research on the personal lives of the boy band members, or, because I just want to look at them, and it's jokingly, it's tongue in cheek. It's for fun to see how they are in bed. But that's just fun. I'm not trying to state any big reality about their lives that has destroyed their lives in the past and can in the future, or is defaming them that will, cost them. This guy was. So what was his reaction? Not an I'm sorry, because I told him, I said, if you don't remove this video, I said, number one, I've reported you to YouTube for misinformation and slander. Number two, if you don't remove it, then I'll just call my lawyer. Yeah. So what did he do? He switched up the video by removing that snippet where he says John died with a prostitute. So it just says he was a cheeky monkey when he died in Las Vegas. And then he deleted my comment. Because you're such a fucking yellow belly piece of shit, mama's boy, that you could not stand up and be like, oh wow, I'm so sorry. He was more worried about the fact that I just called him out, that he did not do research. And if he's not doing research on one episode, then he's probably not doing them on most. He's probably just plagiarizing everything. Which that seems to me like you are plagiarizing. And you know who you are. Yeah, you do. You know who you are. Like I said, I'll put the link down in the description. And you can go look at that video itself. And how it has this like break all of a sudden in the audio that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I left another comment. I'm like, oh, that's real big of you. Just remove it and not own up, because again, otherwise, if he had owned up, he would have to admit that he's not doing any research. He's just basically plagiarizing other people's videos, articles. He's basically reading them word for word. And that type of person, you don't deserve to have 100,000 followers. You don't deserve to have a voice, because your voice is full of fucking lies. And then we're going to move on to the next thing that's full of fucking lies. Take a drink, folks. Keep your arms and feet in this ride at all times, ladies and gentlemen. You won't be hurt. You might shit yourself, but you won't be hurt. Okay. So anyway, then, on October 9th, I was kind of looking around. I'm on several John pages on Facebook, and I kept seeing this one for about 6 months or so. This one guy, Chris Charlesworth, who was doing a review on John, and I've left a message on this review ages ago on Google, because he was saying good time girl. John was with a good time girl. Us here in America and many other countries, good time girl means hooker, prostitute, that type of thing, which we all know how that irks me, and that I am not, and that I spent 21 years screaming and yelling, fighting for my own name, my voice. I wrote a book because I was sick and tired of that bullshit. But yet here he is, perpetuating the lie by saying good time girl when most people are going to think prostitute, because that's what they want to believe. So I kind of put a comment, because he had put the article. He's like, I just want everybody to see my really awesome review of this book, The Ox by Paul Rees, which we know I have reviewed ages ago. The Ox, that book that Paul Rees wrote, which Paul Rees did not find me, did not ask me, did not approach me, did not even do 5 seconds of research to find out how John and I met or anything about that night. He just omitted it altogether and said, I met John in a strip club. Omitted the whole night. If you were writing a book about someone and there's only one person in the fucking world that knows about their last night, are you going to contact them? Absolutely. And I said this exactly. I put a comment on this link on one of the John Entwistle fan pages I'm on. And I was like, really? I'm like, dude, you think this is a well-written? I'm like, Paul didn't even approach me. He didn't talk to me. He didn't do anything. I said, and he wrote lies, because I have to say this because so many people are putting these glowing reviews to kiss ass to the band. He's like, well, I've been friends with the band. I don't give a fuck that you've been friends with the band. I was friends with John for 13 years, till the day he died, literally. And I'm telling you right now that this book is full of lies as far as I'm concerned, and he never even approached me and didn't even ask how John and I met. So I sent him a link privately. I private messaged him, and I was like, here's the link to what I think about this book, and here's the truth about this book. I said, and while you're there, why don't you go ahead and watch how John and I met and about the night he passed away. I don't think Chrissy. And so, he didn't respond. He didn't say anything. So waited a couple weeks, and I messaged him back again. I said, I hope you've watched that video. I said, and now knowing the truth, are you still going to put this glowing review, well-researched, super awesome? I'm like, and you know that Cy Langston, John's best friend, John's real best friend, refused to participate. No, he still hasn't got back to me. So I don't have any respect for anybody who knows the truth about something they reviewed. Yes, you did remove the word good time girl, per my request, because you knew you would get sued. But see, here's the thing, dude. Your reputation is golden. And I've been fighting for mine. You're creating your bullshit reputation that you're about to have. I'm about to put your reputation in question because you did it to me. So he's knowingly left that review up, knowing how many lies were in there. Because I also sent, in the video I posted the things that Cy Langston, John's best friend, had to say about the book, and what bullshit it was, and how many lies were told. How many by Paul Reese, and I think it was mainly Paul Reese just kind of putting, filler in what he thought would look good right there, sound good right there, right? Without researching it. So Chris Charlesworth is another example of a quote-unquote journalist or, rock and roll voice. I don't give a fuck if you know the band. What you're going to give a fuck about is meeting my fucking lawyer. Because you might have removed that, but you're still... How can you consciously leave a review up knowing what lies, not only from the one person that author should have contacted, but also the best friend that refused to be part of that book, and the other band members that refused to be part of that book. You know the lies, you know the bullshit, you know the tales he twisted, you know the crap that is not true in there, that is just a guesstimate, but yet you still leave up that review. You don't show any respect for reality. And you leave it up because you know that your reputation could be sullied by you taking it down and saying, hey, this is the reality. I'm so sorry. That one little 5 seconds of research that you did not do after reading that book. Because I read the book. The whole Ox book. And then, but I had already done my research before because I knew Cy, because I talked to Cy, because I talked to other people that were involved in the book, and I talked to other John's friends that was like, no, that was not true. This wasn't true. This person got it wrong. But yet, Chris Charlesworth still leaves up this review. Well, sweetie, you're going to sully other reputations, and you're just going to... We all make mistakes, but you know what? I'm calling you out because you didn't do the proper research, just like Paul Reese didn't, just like this other guy with the YouTube channel. None of you did proper research on the reality behind the book. Because if you're going to review a book, don't just review it as a professional journalist or a professional whatever you think you are. I don't know what the fuck you think you are, Chris. I don't need to do research on you because I know what you are not, and that's integrum. You don't have any integrity when it comes to actually writing a review, when it comes to actually writing an article, when it comes to actually writing. Because if you don't have integrity in one of your posts, then you don't have integrity in all of them. You're going to write what you want because that's what you feel like. Well, write what you want because Here's the thing. Your reputation, you've had this glowing reputation all these years. You're going to know what it feels like to be me. And to have your reputation sullied. And to have your reputation and your being and your morals called into question. Because you know what's lower than being called a hooker, prostitute, murderer, druggie? Someone who knows that they're doing wrong, but still puts shit out there that is not true. Just to save their own asses. How MAGA of you. So, there you guys go. That's my rant for today, because I just really don't have any room, and I'm trying to contact you privately and hold a conversation, and you think so highly of yourself and so low of me that you can't even be bothered to answer it. Because you know what, honey, I'm not looking like the bitch. You are the asshole. You are looking like the asshole because you're tucking tail with your tiny pee-pee and running fucking away, probably crying to mommy and daddy and see that my article was not true. Because you know what, it's not true. You're going to say this was a well-researched book when you know that it wasn't. You're going to say this is, you know, a lot of stuff from people that knew him, which, yes, some people put some very big, harsh truths in there. But there was a lot of things that was left out. Like I said, the last night of his life, that was brushed over. The fact that John had a daughter, brushed over, left out because Allison and Chris didn't like her. There was a lot of people that chose not to give reasonable facts because they knew the person behind writing it. And guess what, Chris? You're that same kind of person. You're one of those low-life popo sons of bitches. Because you know. And yet you still keep posting this book review of yours that's been out for months. You ignored me for months. You ignored me for fucking months because you didn't want to fuck up your reputation. You're such a selfish, egotistical, tiny pee-pee son of a bitch that you ignored me for months. And it took me posting on one of the John Entwistle fan book pages on Facebook for you to even finally pay attention to me. And now you're ignoring me again? Well, I bet you won't now. Double front flip, bitch. Because, I'm sorry, I have no respect for anybody who writes lies and bullshit and destroys other people's lives, destroys their reputations, especially when they have a book out, are a public figure, and are trying to have their voice heard. You just took that away from me. You just put another black notch onto my reputation by calling me a good time girl. How many months did I have to fucking bitch at you? How many times? How many months did you leave that good time girl up, perpetuating a lie? Perpetuating slander and defamation. How many months did I have to ask you? 3 times. Over several months. Until I called you out on a public forum where everybody else was kissing your ass. I don't kiss anybody's ass. I don't want you kissing my ass. But I want the same respect that you gave everybody else who was in that book and in John's life. Because I was in John's life. So you do unto others you would have done to yourself, Chris. This is your karma. This is how you treat me. Okay, I'm going to treat you. Just like that guy from the YouTube channel who couldn't even bother to say, oh my God, I'm sorry, because his reputation is in question. Is one person put that in question? And it should be in question, because if you are knowingly posting lies and saying you researched something when you really didn't, then you should not be having that voice. It should not be respected. It should be out there for what it is. Bullshit. And your own little ego. That's it. So, all right, there you guys go. I don't want anybody harassing Chris or anything. I'll deal with him on my own, which I think I just did because, like I said, I had asked him months and months and months ago, and it took 3 weeks ago for me to get him to remove Good Time Girl. And I even went down to the same article because I even looked it up online off of that Facebook page, and I looked at the date, and I scrolled down to the comments, and there I was. And he just ignored me. What? Because you think you're so much better than me? You think you're so much privileged? You think you're so much closer with the John or the band members or Cy or anybody else? Fuck you. You weren't. I had my own thing with John. You had your own thing. Steve Luongo had his own friendship. Cy had his own friendship. John had his own relationship with the band. You know what I mean? We all have our own thing. But don't disparage me just to save your fucking ass. Both of you. The YouTube guy and Chris Charlesworth. Because, Chris, were you one of the ones that I had to send a cease and desist letter to Q and Mojo and Classic Rock? Is that why? Huh. Retaliation. So we'll see. I don't trust anybody who knows the truth but yet still sticks with the half facts. So there you guys go. Sorry to bring you on this journey with me again, but I bring you guys on every journey. I don't hide anything from you. I don't keep anything from you. You guys know how hard I fight against everything that I've been having to deal with for 21 years with the tabloids and the lies and the bullshit. So I'm going to bring you on, and I hope nobody gets mad at this. I hope everybody understands where it's coming from. Because like I said, I just have no respect for someone who knows the truth, who's been told the truth, and doesn't even say, I'm sorry. Neither Chris nor YouTube asshole said, I'm sorry. That's all it takes. Some human decency. So you guys might find some self-glorification in your own fucking egos and your bank account for it. But I find no self-glorification in anybody who's not man enough, human enough, decent enough to say I'm sorry for disparaging you. I wouldn't want that done to my daughter, to my sister, to my mother. But no, these guys are okay doing it to somebody that they don't fucking know. I am someone's daughter. I'm someone's sister. I'm someone's aunt. I'm someone's woman. I'm someone's, I'm a human being too. So... And I hate that I have to keep fighting like this. You'd think after 21 years, this bullshit would be over. But no, there's always going to be some fucking idiot who needs the glorification, the pat on the back, that likes the seedy and the disgusting and the lies. And that would be you, YouTube dude, and Chris Charlesworth. So there you go. You're all a bunch of assholes. But all right. Thank you guys again for coming with me. Thank you for always sticking up for me and being here for me and understanding why I constantly have to fight. Because there's always going to be some idiot that claims he's a big-time journalist that knowingly leaves falsehoods up and calls them brilliant and keeps perpetuating and posting them over and over and over again on the same website. Because you want that glorification. I'm not going to glorify you, bitch. So, all right, everybody. Thank you to everybody who got to the end of the video. Thank you to everybody who's supporting, who's just having a great time. I keep knocking my damn microphone over. Come on, buddy, stand. All right. And thank you for all the love and support, you guys. For those of you that are just lurking, go down. Hit the share, hit the like, hit my bells. We'll see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.